Hi, Wimo. Thank you so much for
Okay.
joining us today. This is another episode of A Studio of One's Own, which is a weekly online dialogue session where we reach
Mhm.
out to artists and kind of catch up on them on their changing routines now that we're all in this global pandemic. So Wimo Bayang is actually an Indonesian artist and he's currently residing in Yogyakarta,
Yeah.
Indonesia. And his work dabbles between photography, video, and object making to address and challenge the dialectics of reality and illusion, comprehension and experience of presence and absence in image making. So I'm really excited to speak to you today. Um, so why don't you just give us a little update, like how have you been during this quarantine?
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, I think it's same with most of us that spending our most of our time at home.
Yeah.
Uh, Try to make us busy with anything. um, yeah, but during this pandemic, of course, after the self quarantine for 4 weeks,
Wow.
but I always like 7 days I at home and then go out. And
Mm,
after two, after 4 weeks, I try to. So basically, in the beginning of April, I start to taking picture outside.
ah,
So yeah, uh, because I feel like as an artist that I had a privilege to do work at home or
mm-hmm.
making things or creating things at home.
Yeah.
It's a privilege for us that before or whatever we want or before pandemic or any time.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
yeah, instead of stay at home, I don't know.
You go out.
I had the desire to go out to to
Ah,
to documenting this moment, no?
yeah,
To make
yeah.
visual notes.
Wow, yeah.
So yeah, I as
So it's
an
very
artist,
different for you. So like
yeah,
when everyone stays at home, you go outside.
yeah. So
That's
because yeah,
great.
I work with camera, no? It's a privilege
Mm,
to to work with.
yeah.
Uh, take the role of journalist or documentary photographer.
Yes.
So yeah, and then
Okay.
it is until I think that I wish that or I have a commitment to myself that after the pandemic I will keep continuing to take picture.
Yes.
I mean uh, to make notes or visual notes.
Yeah. It's
I
so
don't know.
funny that it takes like a global pandemic for us to suddenly be aware of like, going out more and like taking photos of things more.
Mhm.
Um, but like, how has the city around you changed? Is it very much quieter outside? Because I know Jogja is quite busy sometimes.
Yeah, during the first, I mean, when when our government said that the pandemic already came to
Mm,
Jakarta in
mm-hmm.
the end of February,
Yeah.
I guess, and then yeah, the first month of the first the in March, I didn't go outside except to go to mess to
Yeah.
help the collective producing the masker
Ah, okay.
to distribute for the uh, precarious group of
Mm.
people. So we producing the masker and then quarantine at home. And then beginning of
Oh,
April, I start to okay. I have to. I feel like I'm okay. You know.
yes.
I, yeah. I feel like still healthy,
You're
and then
fine.
okay. Yeah, I'm fine. And then
Okay, okay. That's good. Like at least you're safe and like we're just all I mean, artists in general, like we're lucky to not have that much of a change because we're always working from home. So I guess this is a different routine lah. But I mean, I'm interested to know in your creative processes because I know like you work with a lot of online digital media, but you also have a lot of like materiality, like a lot of physical things in your work. So do you mind sharing a little bit about some of your past works and how the creative process is like?
My creative process actually, yeah, very varied, no?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Sometimes I got inspired by the moment or by the people who how people dealing with their nature, their life, and
Mm.
then I have another reading or imagination. And I mix up all these things that happen around me.
Mm.
And while doing photography things, uh, I I'm sorry, I always like separating this
That's okay.
artistic practice, and then I do I work as an artist, or I work as a photographer who just uh, actually
Mm.
taking picture, but it's actually making picture. Uh,
Mm.
yeah, and then when I do for my art and I do for my social media like Instagram,
Yeah.
it's 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 I always separate it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but in this moment, after the pandemic, I it's I don't know. I start to to think equally
Mm.
to between my art or my vision or my opinion.
Social
I
media.
yeah uh,
Mm.
more active now. It's even my camera phone already broke last
Oh,
last December, but then I forced myself to do with my uh, I don't know professional camera or proper photo camera, and then start
yeah.
to
Oh
share with
no.
social media. It is more complicated, but the way I treat my body treat camera, it's also different when
Hmm.
I don't know doing with this thing and then doing with camera, and
Yes.
it's more make me more serious or more proper on the way
Yeah.
to capturing things or making picture.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And now my feed Instagram, I feel like it looks more serious than before than early posts.
Yeah. So like art is no longer just, something you put on the wall. It's like
Yeah,
online as
yeah,
well.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay, wow, that's so interesting. I mean, I like if you say this about art being something that has become so part of your daily life now because we're really just left on our own and we're really trying to like make sense of things. I don't know if you saw recently in Singapore, there was this article about how they say the most non-essential job in Singapore now is an artist. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And it
yeah.
caused a lot of anger and like, I mean a lot of like attitude. So I was actually wondering, I'm curious to know what you think, what the role of an artist is in this pandemic.
Hmm. Yeah,
Do you think we are non-essential?
it's weird. And then I have the question on how the Singapore government to see art or the role of
Yeah.
artists. Because here, since back then, uh, I mean, back then, in the beginning of the Indonesia as a nation, that
Mm.
artists always become a part of the development of the country. And then
Yeah.
meaning that artists have the important role in the participating of the developing society or country or nation or
Mm-hmm.
and so on.
Yep.
And and yeah, I think it's also questioning a question that happened to most of us as artists. No,
Mm-hmm,
uh,
mm-hmm.
some of us that doing creative things and then to to make things that have a function in the society, especially during this pandemic.
Yep.
Uh, like several collectives in Jogja, or most of us that they're trying to make things to earning donation and then distributing
Mm.
things to people or to whom to whom that need more or needed it. I don't know.
Yeah. No, yeah, understand you.
and
Yeah.
and and that's why probably I also want to make the notes, no, because
Yes.
I want to share, and I realize that most of us that stay at home, they they see the world outside them through the media or
Mm-hmm.
and then I want to share also that 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 happening in front of me, or I want to I want to share my uh, my my view on the uh, on this on the things around me, or yeah, in the
Yeah.
city especially, because yeah, I cannot go further. um, and yeah, probably hopefully that these notes can have particular function. I don't know.
Mm,
I didn't care much, but hopefully people get inspired or
yeah.
can realize something, or I don't know. I hope
That's
it.
true. It makes sense. Yeah, like I think actually artists are quite important because it's like everyone is living in this, crisis, and artists are the one that have to help them translate this experience and, tell the story, right? And
Yeah.
like, yeah, like what you say, these visual notes are probably gonna inspire someone in the
Uh,
future. Yeah, but I guess it's interesting. You say you want to talk about the city also, in your own little city. So how is there anything that you realize you didn't know about the city before, and now that the pandemic has happened, you're more aware to it?
yeah. There are okay. I have to manage my mind first.
Yeah, yeah, don't worry, take your
uh,
time.
I realized that I am a bit lucky that I live in an area that in an area outside the city. I mean, not that far from the city, but it's still there are still considered as desa, as a village, but it's
Mm-hmm.
in the transition between the city and then village. But it's in
Oh
the
wow.
transition area, and the village itself already aware with all this uh, situation,
Mm.
because this village is uh, it's called Panggung Harjo. It's a very good village as a, I don't know how to say it in English. Yeah.
Mm.
Uh,
Is it a
the,
small village or like a
it's
very big?
it's quite big, but
Mm.
also small. But uh, it's nearby the Indonesian Institute of Art, the campus.
Mm.
It was uh, become the during the earthquake in 2006. Uh,
Wow. Yeah.
it was I don't know how this ruined by the
Mm.
earthquake, and then they start to develop with uh, with good vision and redefine the kampung as a kampung that now become empowered, and
Mm.
a lot of initiative, a lot of good things as a village. It's like more compared to us that not originally from Jogja, that
Mm.
we try to develop our small community, becoming
Yeah.
empowered, becoming aware with all the things, with pandemic, with disaster, and they
Yeah.
know how to deal with this. They have already the protocol, the mechanism on how they face such a crisis.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of community of farmer that during this pandemic they can sustain their food, they're providing food and so on.
Wow.
And and during this pandemic, because in the city of Jogja itself, there are most of the people they rely the life of the people they rely on the tourism sectors and cultural creative sectors.
Mm.
That of course during this pandemic, most of it's it's affecting to these people, the citizen and people who rely on their life with the
Yeah.
fruit from the sector. And and while at the, it's quite often that us always complaining during the long weekend, for example, during the long weekend, we're always
Yes.
crowded with cars from or buses, student or tourists or domestic tourists and so
Yeah.
on. And during this pandemic, wow, we see the city so quiet, but of course we see the it's not good. I mean, lots of a lot of people losing their job,
Yep.
and so on. But in the other side, we see that uh, plants grow, grass is greener than before because
Oh, yes.
no park in the square, and then yeah, hey, it's a good thing, no?
Mm.
I becoming I mean more uh, and realize and more respect to the nature more.
Mm.
I don't know. Uh, how do you say it? I just wake up.
Don't worry about it.
uh, becoming respect to the nature now. Yeah, and then
Mm.
because in front of my house there's a
Yep.
like huge lands that that I never know who owned the land, but
Okay.
uh, young people or children using a lot as a football field
Oh,
to play
wow.
football. And then recently, this this couple of weeks, I met the owner of the land,
Hmm.
uh, and then they clean the land, they and then I follow, and then oh they Pak Joko, the owner of the land, they actually he and his friend, young friend, start to how do you say it, to manage the soil and then start to do planting,
Oh, on the land.
yeah, on the land.
Wow.
And then wow, and then yeah, now I'm always following the process of the plantation, the chili planting,
Mm, mm.
because yeah, it's good for him after he had a pension from this his he is a teacher, and
Okay,
then
okay.
now he start to realize that he has two huge lands like 400 450 square
Wow.
meters, and then he start to make a how do you say it? Uh, kebun I forget the word to say it in English. Yeah, so it's yeah, I get the inspiration
Mm.
to and somehow it teaches us that yeah, it's actually it's the answer. It is this pandemic is becoming we, to teach us or to show us that
Mm.
what we've been doing not that good. So we have
Yep. Yep.
to how to say to deal or to work that still considering and keeping the harmony between ourselves as human and then the nature. And
Yeah.
back then from our ancestors that already doing it, and now uh, because during the pandemic uh, 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 we have to manage our healthy with sunbathing, for example.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
There are some suggestions that we should do sunbathing that in the past time we we, we as a farmer or as a kid that live in the kampong, always
Yep.
we always go outside during Sunday or walking to go to school at 6:30 and then sunbathing, and it's good for our healthy.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Uh, and when I talk to Pak Joko, we have to go outside sunbathing, and then as a farmer, we always do sunbathing.
Yeah.
Instead of a sport, we also do because we move our body. And
Yes.
after 4 months, we
Very big muscles.
benefit harvesting our chili. Then
Yeah.
that's I think And then the nature, or we didn't ruin the nature with uh, unorganic things, no,
Mm-hmm.
or unnatural things. We didn't poison the weather, the
Yeah. Yeah. It's like we're returning back to the earth,
yes,
right? Like really.
yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that. It's so interesting to hear about how like the big land now is, being like reused again, and like
Uh-huh.
it's like really, I feel like this pandemic forced like an interruption. It's like a whole stop to our
Yeah,
daily lives, right?
yeah,
So like I guess it's a lot of reflection time. Like, would you say it's
yes.
really just forced us to reflect? Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
That's the proper word, reflection.
that's the word. So I was wondering, like, now that you're kind of also being alone, is there any way you have, forced yourself to reflect, or like, being in this solitude, like being alone, how do you, um, yeah, what is something that you've reflected on, like focused on during especially regarding to your artistic process? Yeah.
For my artistic process, I don't know. I still at the moment I still didn't thinking much about the my artistic process,
Mm-mm.
except the just making notes. I mean, with my
Yep.
camera and reflecting more what we can learn from during this pandemic or with pandemic. I don't know for
Mm.
after the pandemic, for the post pandemic. I don't know what to do. I don't know. I
Yeah.
just following this moment and
Yes.
keep reflecting. Um, it's
Okay. Okay.
and because I already married now just
Yep.
last year, and then my wife always now uh, and it's just been making our own bread, and
Oh.
and then starting to experimenting with banana or with other things. So when I see banana tree in front of my house, it's what I see is not banana tree, but like, oh, banana bread, oh, banana.
Wow.
And it, I mean, when before we just or only consume
Yeah.
the product that the
Yes.
then we and then during this pandemic, that because we forced to stay at home, and then we
Mm-hmm.
still provide our own stuff. We cannot go to the mall or to the shop, or because they are closed at the time. Then uh, the reflection result from
Mm.
the way we before we just consume, now we start to reflect that we can produce.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's
That's
one thing that from my personal reflection, and
wow. Mm.
also the Pak Joko that
Mm.
teach me something. Uh, I can probably he wanted to build a house, and then he can sell because he already has other house, and then he can sell probably. But now he start to make but it's lucky for him. But what I can learn from this, that hmm, that's the things from
Yeah.
the reflection. And I realized that some of us friends that still feel depressed or anxiety, get
Mm.
anxiety
Mm.
and stress. But so I also, the way I avoiding stress is taking picture and
Mm.
go out and to face to witnessing the reality,
Yes.
not through the what happened through media, that somehow it's worse than
Yes.
than what we can bear,
Mm-hmm.
or what we can then.
Okay. Wow. Thank you, Wimo. That's yeah, it's really, really insightful, like what you reflected. Like the idea of, we are no longer just consumers because we have to like fend for ourselves. So we are really just like producing. And it's so nice to hear that you guys are making bread. It's so fun. It's so nice.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
also because I like to eat like sweet martabak. We call it terang bulan
Mm.
sweet martabak. And then during the pandemic, also closed.
Oh, cannot buy.
And then my wife started to learning from YouTube, and then we try to make it ourselves. Uh,
Wow.
and oh yeah, oh probably if the art the if art if there is no art, I can I can start to sell
You can be a
martabak.
baker.
Yeah, I can be a baker. Uh, but no,
That's funny.
I think the city is more optimistic, and then
Mm.
in the art scene also more and more feels positive,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
optimistic. I mean, and
Mm.
yeah, I think we just it was now this moment is just a pause, no, time
Yes,
to
yes.
reflect, time to learn more, or time to recollect, uh,
Mm-hmm.
recorrecting our habit or attitude or towards
Yeah.
the nature or the earth, also the society, the humanity.
Yes. A pause. I love that word. It's really a pause now on our lives. But you was talking about the art scene being more optimistic. I actually want to ask about your work, Spectator. So, you emphasize a lot on like these different agents of the art world. So like there's the audience, the curator, journalist, and I guess now with this whole shift to like the current situation with like the art world, there's really not much of an audience because your work is suddenly made for yourself. So I was gonna ask you like what you think about this online shift, shifting to like a digital space, and also how does these agents change in this new pandemic? Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I think this digital platform or internet or uh, yeah,
Mm.
in the virtual sphere, it's already done. I mean, since
Mm.
before the pandemic, especially for the younger generation. I
Yeah.
mean, because I was I was raised in the 90s, that I experienced the analog time and then digital time, and then that's
Mm.
why I mentioned before. I always treat my website or my art through my website, and then my hobbies as a photographer or or working with photography, and then sometimes I just throw to my social media. I
Yes.
separated this, and then while the younger generation, they see social medias or any social medias as their portfolios to show what they to show their best,
Yeah.
and it is good. And then I didn't do that, and now I start to think or to
Mm.
to I mean to yeah, it's I I'm becoming like this generation, the digital native, no, that
Yes.
anything digital, anything online. So it's also shift my attitude.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Okay, okay.
what the pandemic makes me yeah, force me like this, becoming like this uh,
Yeah.
digital native.
That's true. Because you're right about like nowadays young people are using social media as portfolios and things are just becoming so easy.
Hmm.
But also like when you think of like social media, like the idea of consumption is also very rapid. Like it's more fast, and that also changes the way people look at your work, right? So like actually, what do you think about like if you were to join an online exhibition, and how do you think that will change your work in the community?
Uh, yeah, I don't know later, yeah,
Mm,
if this space is longer, or there is no new normal. I mean, we have to force being at home and only online.
yeah.
I think there will be more and more uh, 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 discovery or experiment kind of approach, or more developed, not just making things and then put it online. It is
That's
already
true.
done. That's already. I mean,
Mm-mm.
it's already happened before.
Yep.
Uh, while we realize that experiencing art in a corporeal sense, it's different
Mm.
because uh, uh, some artworks, or let's say for example, site specific things or installation, or it's it's it it it, it they this kind of art um providing or providing more experiences to people, no? In the sense of
Yeah.
our sensory. But
Mm.
online is has a different way on how our sensor experiencing the work.
Yeah.
So if our realm become our reality become totally online, I think it will be more and more art that can develop to
Mm.
to I mean for the online things. But yeah, we still don't know what happened.
Yeah.
But uh, doing or presenting artwork online, yeah, I think it's still necessary. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a necessary things to do. But for
Yeah.
the future, if we were forced to be like online, and even our life no physical life, then I don't know. I
Yes.
think there are more an artists that come from this kind of life, this kind of realm,
Mm-mm.
this life.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, and from now, I'm not sure. I don't know. I think it,
Mm.
yeah, still it's good thing that a museum they open their collection, and then also the curator having a virtual no not virtual online tour. Uh,
Yes. Yeah.
then we can access what collection, and also uh, 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 how do you say it? Like video library or film library, they
Mm.
open access to us for towards their collection. It's good.
Yeah. It's true.
Uh,
It's
yeah. Uh, but if yeah, your question, I still don't know what to answer your question.
mm.
If everything's supposed has to be online, then there will be another kind of art that I mean, we know media art, we know net art before this pandemic, but
Yeah.
after this, I don't know if we
Yeah.
have to be online. There is another thing, but if it's
Yes.
then we back to now, because now in Indonesia we are in the phase of transition, adapting with the what's so called new normal, which is not
Okay.
normal, but
Yeah.
uh, slowly or gradually people will back to
Their
the
jobs and everything. So has art museums open in Indonesia?
no, I don't
Not
know.
yet.
No, there is a private museum in Jakarta. They still closed,
Mm.
and the
Mm.
National Gallery they already open, and
Mm.
and some gallery they will be open in August or October,
Mm. Okay.
and also who is the Shaolin Gallery is also there the exhibition, and I think it's a good thing. I mean,
Yes.
oh, it means that it will be back as it is as before.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So you're also trying to say that an online thing doesn't mean it's bad, but it will just be very different from.
just very
I
different.
see.
Uh,
Okay.
during this pandemic, there are artists, I mean, painter that uh, during the pandemic they work at home in their personal studios. During the
Mm-hmm,
pandemic, also same do
mm-hmm.
still working in their
The
house, their
studio.
personal studio, and if they want to have a exhibition, they can just take picture or making video and then put it online so people can see their works. But
Yeah.
it's different things. I mean,
Yeah.
it's also good things, but it's different on how we experiencing the work.
Mm, mm,
And it's also happened before the pandemic.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
for the what kind of uh, uh, online is a medium. I mean, if there is artists who really working on the internet or using this frequency,
Yeah.
it will be happen later. Must be
That's true.
for sure. Must be there will be artists and
True. Okay, so are you actually currently at home or are you working from your studio or
no, it's in Mass Studio.
Mesh studio?
Uh,
Okay,
uh,
okay. I
because
see.
when I wanted to do the interview at home, but my wife's still sleeping, so I didn't want to disturb her.
Okay,
So
I see.
okay, you just go to Mass and then.
I see. That's nice. So, so now technically you say Indonesia's in a new normal. So is this like a temporary situation? And what are the main changes? Like, are you still working, from the studio? And how do you think this will affect like your, the arts community during this new normal?
Uh, the like for example, hmm, we are still the same. I mean, before and during the pandemic,
Mm.
the different thing that we cannot uh, 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 less hang out or less
Ah, okay, okay.
uh, less meeting except the online meeting. But during this new normal, we are more and more uh, uh, members coming to Mesh to our space. And
Oh,
before during this pandemic, before the new normal, we
yeah.
also we have our activity to make to open our kitchen for public for the community within the community to provide food and
Wow.
it's I, it feels like nothing happened, no, except we have to
Okay.
wash our
Wear
hands,
mask.
wear mask,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, still it's still same
I
except
see.
except that some of our programs most of our programs are canceled and then we have to more tactical to face this moment
Yeah.
because we have to running the space, no, with the
Mm-hmm,
basic
mm-hmm.
need like internet, electricity, and since since some of our program uh, that 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 I don't know how to wait.
Mm.
Uh, so yeah, some of project that our program have
Yeah,
to are canceled were canceled.
yeah.
So we have to during the difficult things we have to really think. Then
Mm.
okay, uh, we have to earn money to pay bills and etc.
Yeah.
Then we force ourselves to before it's new for us actually for MES to do workshop
Yes.
online to
Wow.
meeting online. It's 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 we have to adapt.
Adapt very fast.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
We have to adapt very fast because we are like very physical. Before the pandemic, if we discuss, it's always take long, and then we can laugh, we can fight.
Mm-hmm,
But
mm-hmm.
if we do discuss in WhatsApp group, always
Yep.
tension. Before the pandemic. But then
Yes.
during this pandemic,
Mm.
we have meeting online. Now we can just listening and mute ourselves, and then okay we talk after our friends talking. Before that's like
Yes.
ooh ooh ooh. So it's good also to I don't know to change our behavior.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It's like
our
really
communication
just
behavior.
relearning a new way of communication also, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, that's so funny. So when you talk about like, how all your programs are canceled, it's like definitely hard because you have to, like you said, readapt very quickly. It's like you
Mhm.
have to learn things very, very fast to like make sure that you can still have these programs but also go online. Um, but also I was wondering like how, you do, is it true that when all these programs are cancelled, you kind of see art not just as a product, but you focus on like the process of really just like refining and researching? Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. Before, I mean, uh, in a collective, I mean,
Mm,
at mass as collective,
yes.
when 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 crisis or disaster happen, somehow, because uh, before, during the earthquake in 2006,
Mm,
we are not just, we are not just uh, silence and waiting, but we feel that we force, I don't know, we have the desire to contribute something or to make something for the
yeah.
society. So during this pandemic, when the pandemic outbreak in Jogja, we start to, the, as I mentioned before, we start to, okay, we should make masker and then distribute. So we
Mm,
forget about what our art or our project. Okay,
wow. Okay.
make masker, and then we can earning donation from our college, our friends, and then yeah, we can help the difabel, uh, I don't know how to say,
Yeah.
sewer maker, uh, and then okay,
That's so
uh,
inspiring.
then
Yeah.
after that, because most of us like younger members don't have a job or cannot, we rarely to sell our art, and
Mm,
then it okay, we making masker, we collecting donation, and then we provide food for our members and our communities.
mm,
Whoever want to eat or need dinner, or we can just, they can just come, or we can deliver the food for them,
wow.
and that's what, yeah, that's what we've been doing, and then uh, for the, and then because our we don't have saving money anymore in the organization, and then we make a program. It's called unstocking stockroom. So we sell our works, and then we also
Wow.
have a project. It's called Coffee Time Only. That we sell our works that done during this the pandemic, and
Mm,
the money, it goes to the artist, and then also goes to the to donate to the kitchen and to other initiative to, yeah, to make a donation. So that's what we do now. So, and then in the sense that uh, this gesture can show on what art or artists can do
wow. Yeah, yes, you can
for
definitely.
life or for society. Uh, at least, yeah, in a, we don't want to
Mm,
have like a huge, or I don't know, we cannot I mean, we cannot able to do it, or
yep.
at least it's useful. It find the function of art or artist
Mm,
role, or
yeah.
yeah.
That is so inspiring to hear, I feel like actually, yeah, it's sad that Singapore doesn't see artists as essential in the pandemic, but there is so much that artists can actually do to step up and raise money for people who need it more. Yeah, and yeah, it seems like
And
your
also,
collective,
and
yeah.
also it's other, because we know that our not just ourselves, we are actually
Mm,
ourselves, we affected by the pandemic, we are the victim
yes.
of pandemic, but
Yes.
it's not only us, so we have to do together to
Mm,
face and to overcoming this together.
yeah. Wow. It just shows that the people there, you know, you guys all have very, very kind hearts, and it's like you're dedicating a lot of your time to really helping out rather than focusing on, you know, your art, your
Yeah,
practice.
yeah, yeah. That's not interesting.
It's a
that's
very,
why I, that's why I also didn't do my art at home and then I share because anyone
yeah,
can do it. And
yeah.
I can do anytime, you know. And
Mm.
yeah, yeah,
It's like now we're all in a crisis, so the least we can do is just
yeah.
help each other out.
That's
That's
the
nice.
the basic things. We have to,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Wow. But okay, I guess I'm also curious about the online programming that you guys are doing. So do you guys open it to like the members of the collective, and how do you guys conduct these online programs now that you are all like separated from each other?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Through Zoom, ah.
Through Zoom, through Jitsi, through Google Meet,
Mm.
uh, and yeah. But some of us, because you know currently we have three directors, and then
Mm-hmm.
these two directors are doing the self quarantine and rarely come, and then the rest of us like somehow quite regular come to
Okay,
mess,
okay.
so we still can talk and think and yeah.
Mm. Wow,
Uh,
okay.
yeah.
Don't worry about it. Okay, Wimo, I guess have a last question for you, to wrap things up about, you know, now that we're in the pandemic and, you know, borders are being closed, like, you know, I know that your work has reached like many parts of the world. Like you exhibited in Singapore, you've been showing in Shanghai and Seoul. So with borders closed and now like art has become very local, like a lot of artists are now exhibiting their own spaces. How do you think we can, like, do you think it's important that we still sustain cross-cultural
For
art
sure,
sharing? Yeah, and
for
how do
sure,
we do that now, you know, in a time like this?
of course. I
Mm,
mean, not just in not just in a in a in a state level,
yeah.
because because every country actually they have to do their cooperation to
Mm-hmm.
overcome this pandemic.
Yes.
But also the artists. For example, yeah, we during this. I mean, before the pandemic, we are our life already borderless actually,
Mm,
and during the pandemic, the border itself is just physical border is to physical border is to maintain or to avoiding the spread of the virus.
yeah.
But if but in other aspect of life or other sector or other things, it's borderless. We should more and more open, even more and more open.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like yeah, like at the moment I just got an email from the ICP from the company, uh,
Wow.
because yeah, it's during this pandemic. Then I want to share my personal experience, and then I do more and more serious on Instagram, right? And then I start to uh,
Mm,
during the day or during the night I watch and more uh, lecturer, a video of a photographic master from the last century, from the and so on,
mm-hmm.
and I start to explore and more on Instagram platform, and then uh, apparently that ICP has the initiative to make a project
Mm,
called uh, with the hashtag ICP Concern. And
okay.
they invite uh, images from artists or photographers around the globe uh,
Wow.
to to put their works that related to pandemic and put the hashtag ICP concern. And I put my some of my photographs that I did during the pandemic at night, and I
Mm,
put the hashtag, and then they just uh, the work. And then
Wow.
to participate in the physical exhibition that they wanted they want to do in the ICP. And
Mm.
yeah, it's I mean during this I mean it's I don't know if it's answering your question
Yeah,
that
it really is. Yeah.
that
That's a way to
yeah,
still sustain
it's
this.
good. They have also good tagline. We are in the
Mm.
I don't know. I forgot. In I think you can check. We are in the same ocean, but are not in the same boat, or something like that. We are
Mm.
under same storm, but
Okay.
not in the same boat.
What is this again? ICP? Is it
Yeah, ICP, the International of Photography,
photography?
International Center of Photography in New
Mm.
York.
Yeah.
And then yeah, David Company is the managing director.
Wow. Okay. Wow, that is very interesting. I guess like to see how people are still trying to connect across physical
Uh,
borders.
uh,
Yeah.
Beyond the
That's
physical.
great.
Yeah.
When is the exhibition actually, Wimo?
I don't know. I have to check the email again. Yeah, but
Okay. Are
I
you
don't know.
going
I think
to
I should.
send your
I,
physical works there?
yeah. I don't know. I haven't checked the form, but can I? I can read it.
Oh, don't worry about it. I was just curious.
Uh, I say like, dear photographer, our deepest thanks for contributing your imagery to ICP concert, the International Center of Photography open call reflecting response to the COVID-19 pandemic.
Mm.
The response has been overwhelming. Over 23,000 images have been submitted so far, with hundreds more uploaded every day. It is profoundly moving and urgent testimony to the situation as it continues to unfold, showing how this spirit is being felt in the different ways around the world. We wish to honor the image that has been submitted and further mark the COVID-19 crisis through an exhibition, and your work has been selected for inclusion.
Wow. That's so great. Yeah, that's really, really cool.
So it's I never did before. I in a be putting hashtag and so on because
Mm.
I didn't interest much on the through the social media
Yeah.
as a part of my professional job or professional things. It's just like
Hmm.
fun, no? Compared
Yeah.
to the younger generation. But now I try to okay, seriously, this
That's
is
great.
thing. And then oh, it's a
That's
somehow
good.
it's a portal, no, to develop your career or to achieve something.
Yeah, it really does. It demonstrates the opportunity to be with each other without any boundaries,
Yes,
really.
I agree.
Wow. That's a great experience. Thank you for sharing that with us. Yeah. Okay, I mean, I guess we are kind of out of time, but I'm really grateful that you could have made it today and talk to us. Thank you so much, Remo, for the chat.
Welcome. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you.